This is a real article. I know, it's hilarious. And this isn't from a fringe website. Okay, this isn't from The Root. This isn't from the Mary Sue. This isn't from Vice, Vox, any of those other far left radical sites. This is from The New Yorker. Oh, okay, cool. In the same scale as what? The vaunted halls of the Atlantic, the New York Times, comes the rise of Latino white supremacy. Okay, so it's weird, right? Because now we're kind of heading into a political election season. You're starting to realize that, oh, okay, cool. The way that the different parties are marketing one another. The Democrats, they're supposed to be this all-inclusive. We're here for the minorities, so aren't they supposed to be appealing to the Latinx population? Okay, but you're specifically pointing out the Latino population. That's interesting. But yeah, some people in the GOP want to say, we're the big tent party. But I didn't really realize that the actual real big tent party was white supremacy, because they're even taking in people that aren't white. It's wild, man. First and foremost, we have the black face of white supremacy with Larry Elder, and now we just simply have Latino white supremacists that are out there. Holy mental gymnastics. Let's just read a little bit of this to see if we can glean anything from this, because yeah, this first line came about probably about the same time of, I would say probably the first Latino white supremacist, George Zimmerman, right? That white guy who unjustly killed Skittles and Sprite Trayvon Martin. That's something we got to debunk in a stream in the near future, because I'm tired of getting all that smoke for all of these idiots that don't have all of the facts. George Zimmerman practiced perfect self-defense. And then a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, I think at this point in time, there was that mall shooting, which I think that's from right there. Yeah, Allen, Texas as well, where you had, this evil white supremacist who was as brown as anybody you're likely to pick up in a pickup truck outside of a Home Depot. And then there's this other recent case as well that just kind of disappeared from the headlines the moment a picture of the suspect came out. But now, hey man, now they can run back all of these stories, because we have a new subsection of white supremacy, the most dangerous ideology in the United States, according to the fearless leader, Joe Biden. A man who's not scared of anything except for small sandbags on a graduation stage. Anyways, on May 6th, a 33-year-old Mexican man named Mauricio Garcia shot and killed 8 people at an outlet mall in Allen, Texas. Then he was shot and killed by an off-duty police officer because of the white supremacist views the shooter expressed in a diary and online. Many were shocked that he was Latino. In fact, Latino white supremacy isn't an oxymoron. Just because you say something isn't an oxymoron doesn't make it not an oxymoron. It just, in fact, kind of reinforces the second half of that word. And carrying out premeditated mass shootings in the United States is one of the more American things a Latino can do. Oh my God. Talk about all of those black white supremacists on the south side of Chicago that love themselves some mass shootings, when every weekend, we're only 5 months into 2023, and in that time, 17,000 people have been killed by guns in this country. Meanwhile, there are more than 60 million Latinos in the United States, and motivated by extremism or a sense of fear, they've bought a lot of guns in the past few years. It's funny, you got stats on everything except for the amount of guns that are out there, because then you start to realize that this is really a small problem. It's almost like the crazy people are the ones committing the problems, and it doesn't really matter what they use. But you go ahead and try to spin race into this. I've yet to see it. In his 2004 book, Who Are We? The Challenges of Americans' National Identity, the late political scientist Samuel P. Huntington fretted over how Mexican immigration was changing the Anglo-Protestant mainstream culture of the United States. Interesting. He worried that Mexican immigrants weren't assimilating into the same way the earlier European immigrants have done. Yeah, because they kind of seen a bifurcated society where the black population can go ahead and spin off and create something different. The Chinese and different Asian subsects were doing the exact same thing, as opposed to everybody coming together like late 1800, early 1900s in New York, where you had the Irish, Polish, Italians, just all kind of intermixing. It's almost like the concept, the melting pot, was just replaced with multiculturalism. Biggest failure, the biggest L in the West. It's got some stiff competition, but for the sake of this story, yeah, I would say so. The criteria to be used to gauge assimilation of an individual, a group, or a generation includes language, education, occupation, income, citizenship, intermarriage, and identity. Huntington believes that the descendants of Mexican immigrants weren't hitting these markers. He would be completely and totally correct, but he was wrong. Oh, okay. They assimilated like others did. They learned English, intermarried, became loyal Americans, and adopted American politics, including most extreme and violent forms. Well, no, because they mostly just stick in their communities, and that's where all the fear and hatred comes about, is because nobody talks to one another. I think that's fairly obvious, but you can read the rest of this fucking drivel. But to just to think that it's white supremacy, that Latinos are killing other Latinos and white people. I think that was an overwhelming majority of the people that were killed in Allen, Texas, were in fact white. I don't know how that upholds white supremacy, but you go ahead and you go ahead and secure that gold medal in mental gymnastics. We'll be over here assessing the facts, because once again, we have another one of those Latino white supremacists. This dude right here, he took a U-Haul and tried to crash it into a federal building a few weeks ago. You probably didn't hear about it because, oh my God, oh, he's got a swastika flag with him. Oh, this is easy headline bait. Oh wait, that's the dude who did it? Call up the New Yorker, man. We need a salacious headline right now. Oh, you Latinos and white supremacy are working on something like that? Cut, print, perfect. You got a couple of graphics that you can throw in there? No, don't worry about it. We just want a headline to begin with. Neo-Nazi who plowed truck into White House gates to kill Biden planned a rambling coup speech that announced the end of U.S. democracy. Huh, interesting. Threatened advertisers with a death penalty and signed off with the Nazi motto. Are you sure about that? Sai Varshith Kandula. Oh, so is he from that Indian sect, the Latino white supremacist? I don't. Again, like I said, white supremacy, that's the real big tent party. The neo-Nazi who allegedly plowed a U-Haul, allegedly, I think we got pictures of it, into a White House gates in a failed attempt to kill President Joe Biden. Very failed. Why would you plow the gates? Like, they're very well reinforced, stupid. Had planned a rambling coup speech that announced the end of U.S. democracy. Sai Varshith Kandula, how many times did he make reference of show bobs and vagine? I'm just wondering. Was also planning to threaten any adversaries with the death penalty and signed off his speech with the Nazi motto. Kandula of Chesterfield, Missouri, smashed the rental truck into the security barriers of the White House at around 10 p.m. May 22nd while Joe Biden was inside. He's probably fast asleep. He already had 6 hours under his belt. He then left the vehicle carrying a large Nazi flag, which was later seen unfurled on the sidewalk. Yeah, with all of the fold marks. So definitely didn't look sus at all. Despite his failed attack, he told the Secret Service agent, "My message was received." Not really, because everybody forgot about this. Does anybody remember? Literally, does anybody remember this? Yeah, I didn't think so. The academically gifted teenager, well, who was arrested and charged with the depredation of U.S. property in an attempt to kill the president, was being held without bail pending a hearing Tuesday. Oh, interesting. Prosecutors say the greater concern was his alleged intention to overthrow the government. How? Fucking how? Okay, so they found the Tibetan good luck charm flag, but what else did they find in there that said that he would be successful in his overthrow attempt? Did he have a little hat with buffalo horns on it? Oh, fucking Christ. But yeah, there you can see right there. Looks very authentic, totally. Federal prosecutors filed a memo Friday arguing Kandula should be kept behind bars with no condition before a possible trial. Well, that sounds a little bit ridiculous. He's only 19 years old. I thought that we just took a look at brown people and just thought that they couldn't do anything wrong. Oh no, he's one of those bad guys. Oh, okay, cool. We'll just go ahead and deprive him of his rights. Does he have a criminal record? I'm just wondering. He alleged that he kept a journal. Oh, okay, cool. Are you going to release that? Probably about the same time that you do the Tranifesto from the Nashville school shooter, right? Yeah, probably. I'd imagine so. That he was planning to give had been successful in his White House, his attack on the White House, blah, blah, blah. Inside his journal, Kandula called his Green Book. He described a post-democratic U.S. and addressed my fellow citizens of America. And everybody would go, what's tech support doing on TV? I don't get it. As I'm familiar with the unknown of this country being democratic nation, and it would no longer be the case. The passage reads, there shall be consequences if civil unrest happens. Make it clear any opposition will be met with the death penalty. To make it clear, as you have seen, we will declare martial law until the situation has been unknown. We will rebuild this world. Fantastic. Kandula also praised, an Austrian painter and the Stasi strong history, their authoritarian nature, eugenics, and their one world order. I guess shout out Planned Parenthood. Whatever. Ended the passage with the words, oh, okay. Was he also intending on throwing up the Roman salute, incorrectly spelling the Nazi motto, which translates to Hail Victory? Yeah, this guy sounds like a real believer. Either that or there was somebody that didn't quite have enough expertise on call at the feds in order to just scribble something up. Oi, oi, oi. But it's interesting. It's interesting. This is a story that came and went around, May 23rd. I seen it pop up, and then they released this picture out there, and then it's, oh, shucks. And then all of a sudden, oh, no, trust this, guys. He's one of those real white supremacists. Yeah, can't even spell anything correctly. Definitely doesn't seem like a total ruse. Nope, 100%. Glow-free op that you have right there. Sure thing, pal. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.